How's it going, everybody? My name is Mark Borscht. You can follow me on Twitter at BORSZCZM. You can see here I like to post some daily commentary on the markets and basically some charts during intraday, some ideas, what I'm looking at, some of the charts that I'm looking at intraday. Check out my website, markborscht.wordpress.com. I've called it the stock market drill book because it's a place where I want you to improve your trades one chart at a time. I'll be putting a lot more videos on here. You can see here I just started up this website on July 7th. So there's a quick brief bio of me, and then I just straight to business. Quick BlackBerry analysis, which I think is doing great. I'm going to make an update video on this after this week. You can see here another one on an Apple intraday analysis, July 8th session review. So I want to post daily reviews of what's going on and what to look for the next day. And this is going to be my first week that I want to try doing a weekly commentary. So just do a big week in review and what to expect or what we can see next week, so that we're ready for whatever the market brings us. All right, so check out those two pages on Twitter and my website. So let's get to business here. So first thing I want to show you guys is basically what happened with these ETFs, which are reflective of the four major indices, those being the Dow Jones, the NASDAQ, S&P 500, and the Russell 2000. So let me just zoom out here 3 months back and give you guys some ideas of what's going on here. So just like I mentioned yesterday, there was a lot of buying going on these lows. Today's open on the S&P 500 was up here. Looks like we had a little bit of a dip, which was bought up immediately and it closed up here. So that's definitely a bullish indicator. Piercing line pattern over here, so it's a gap up and close a bit higher there. Over here on the DIA, for the Dow Jones, you can see again a nice gap up from yesterday's close. Did we close higher here? 169.59, open 169.58. So we did indeed close higher than here. So this is another great reversal pattern here off of support. QQQ as well, you can see a small bounce here. This is an inside bar, so we've got to watch for price breakout over the high here, and the low over here. All right, so the high and low of this candle, because this one closed inside of it, this is an inside bar, so watch for a break of either for a move to go either to be bullish or bearish. But in this case, this is also a bullish Harami pattern, and this little guy shows a change of momentum after a big range bar. A shorter range with a bullish candle shows that we might see a change of guard here, and we might try testing the resistance again. So that's on the QQQ, which is for the NASDAQ, and our final chart here is for the Russell 2000, that's IWM. Which you can see here, bounce off support, couldn't close under 116 right here. So this looks okay. Again, another inside bar pattern. So very similar to our was it the NASDAQs or the Dow Jones. Nice down days, bounce, and inside bar over here. So again, we'll see break over high of this or low of this will determine where it goes. Market is here. A couple of charts that I found today. So Nugget was huge today. You can see the overall price pattern here. There we are. So you can imagine this guy with me. So 24.14, 24.14 for the sake of this over here. Okay, so this is one way to look at it. You can look at it kind of like this. And then the high here. But the way I'm going to look at this is zoom out. And if you notice here around the $50 line, so the price was consolidating here around $47. You can see here this is the $50 mark right here. So you can see came down in here, broke it, came back out, broke it, consolidated, broke, bounced, bounced, came back out, consolidated, broke it again, broke down, came back in, consolidated, broke over, came back under, and now it's consolidating right under. And you can see today was the first move towards the $50. Okay, so I want you to watch for the $50 tomorrow. I think we'll see. We already saw a test of it today, 50.22. So I want to see that high broken, say around here. Okay, so that's Nugget. Gold is doing well this week, so if gold continues, then this is definitely a stock to have, to keep an eye on. The $50 break, want to say the next, it can even go to $60, $60, 56.93, and then around 60.59 up here. So those are potential targets if the gold run continues. Okay, so that's Nugget. Wanted to show you guys INTC, which is Intel. So the Intel one-day chart here. You can see that we're in an obvious uptrend overall from the 1923 coming up here. You can see that we broke out of a nice flag pattern, or just a nice breakout overall of a small downtrend that was started here. And again, look where this thing happened. If you just zoom out and look where this thing happened. Look at this price level right here. Look at this price level. Price was bouncing in and out of here. Look how many times. Bounced, came down, broke through support, and again, back and forth until it was broken, bounced again, broken, came down under, and now it's doing the same thing. Broke back out, broke up here, and now here we are. So we had a nice gap up here. It's a bit too much. There we are. So we had a nice gap up, and again, after you look at charts so many times, you can see these patterns. So another flag breakout up to here. Okay, so this original candle, whoops, what am I doing? Here, okay, so we came up into here. This is going to be a nice little channel. Came up into here, couldn't break this level until like this one. There we go. So we came up into here, couldn't break this level until this candle. Once this candle broke through, there you go. Look at that volume. Again, broke it on high volume here to confirm the move. So that was good to see. And now we have another high volume day here after 2 days down, and you can see that we've got a nice little channel formed on here. So if I zoom into this price action here, draw some price lines, so you can see that our high, this is really so $31 is the resistance here. I'd say right down here. If I zoom out, I'd say this is the most consistent, around 30.79 here. Just for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to use this big bar here, the high and the low, as my range in here. So this is what happens tomorrow. I can see that it's consolidating under the 31, so it broke over. It's consolidating under. And we can see this 30.67 right down here, forming its small channel, forming support down here. So bounce, bounce, came up in, couldn't break, broke through, came back in, tested support. Okay, bounced off here and closed a little bit under. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. A breakout over here on volume could definitely mean some nice profit. So long bias, looking at Intel. Another one I think is gonna go off soon is Microsoft. The reason why I say that is because it's starting to trade in a nice tight range. So low of 26.26. Yeah. Great. So I'm gonna put that in just like this. Just like that. And now I'm gonna get this to extend. I'll use that high for my pattern here. Okay, so we can see that we're in an obvious uptrend. Okay, but more recently here, you can see that this is most consistent here. See that we started, instead of going up, we start to form a small channel right in here. So around this previous high is where a new price channel exists, or rather support exists. So you can see here, this was a breakout, so came down, made some higher lows, tested, came back off, tested resistance, back in. Now we've came here, tested the resistance, broke up. Now we're just hugging the resistance. Sorry, now it's turned support, so we'll just see bounces. Every time it hits the support, bounce, accumulation, bounce, accumulation, bounce. This one closed up here, so you can see there are sellers. This one, a little bit of indecision. This one opened down here, came down in here, and buyers bought it back up. So this looks like a nice support. If this can hold, look for continuation up. That's 1, 2, 3, couple off the list. Next is Wells Fargo. Okay, so give me a second. Let me just get the charger. All right, here we are. So Wells Fargo, again, there's some money coming into the banks now. Or rather, this week it's kind of flowing out here. But you can still see that we're in an overall uptrend, trending upwards nicely actually. Here we are, pointer, extend this guy all the way out. Okay. Let's see if we can draw a trend line for this guy. Seems to be a nice popular point. Okay, So you can see we're in an uptrend here. There we go. Okay, so now coming into here, again, you can see the $52 mark. Clear level of support. So again, $52 is your support. And again, it looks like we're in a small channel here. So I'll draw another price line. So around the high of 53.08. is where this thing might go. So this is where you can see bound, hit here, found resistance, support, support, resistance, kind of just floating around here, hit resistance, couldn't close above it. This one closed under, now we're at the bottom. This one, again, tested it, broke the resistance, but couldn't close under it. So, and there's super high volume on this, so this one might look like a bounce. So Wells Fargo, watch for a bounce back up to the top of the trading range around 53.08. I want to show you guys DDD up 0.67% today. What I really want to show you here is what I think might be a nice bounce play, potential bounce play. So you can see here that we did find a nice breakout over these levels here in May. That was a nice consolidation, couple of months, and then finally broke out here, pulled back. You can even have caught it like this if you want. If you missed the initial move down here, missed the initial bounce, you can see it consolidated before breaking out. There's another flag pattern if I zoom in. But keeping up here, you can see that we formed a top. Okay, and you got a shoulder, you got a head, and you got your neck shoulder here, and this is the neckline resistance that we're looking for. So this is where we're looking for the break. In this case, you saw that the price came down here, so there was some resistance around this area, the open. Okay, so if I zoom into this pattern here, into this chart, this part over here of the, you can see, let me zoom this in. Okay, so there we are. You can see this was the range of that first gap down what am I doing? The range of that first drop down candle after the gap down. And you can see that's pretty much exactly where the price hung out after it came back in here. So use the daily candle here. Use a support coming out of here. So here's a daily candle. Use the support from over here. Okay, and just move it down. So the bounce found support here. So I like to always draw a line where there is support. Okay, so you can see this line. I believe it was $70 here. If I scroll up here, drawings pointer. Okay, so I've got a fat finger, so we'll say $70. But look what happened. So price bounced here, broke up over the resistance here, formed a small channel right down here, broke out over that channel, came up, fill the gap, as you can see, fill the gap near the top of the highs where the consolidation was. So there was some nice price action around 80. Then it dropped back down. Okay, broke this level, closed right over here, tested it, failed the resistance, came down in here, support, broke down, and again it's just been kind of making a bottom down here around the lows. Now slowly making higher highs, comes back in, another higher high, comes back in. We'll see what this happens. I believe this might be a bounce tomorrow, a bounce opportunity. See 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 down days. You can see nearing the resistance around $58 of the previous resistance, or sorry, support of this candle here, which was the close at 64.10. Whoops, sorry, the open, which is 57.79. A little bit above there. Okay, you can see the 4 down days. You can see the Doji close today, inside bar on here. So possible reversal coming in here if we see some action volume coming into the day. I think 60 isn't not possible. So $60 tomorrow. But watch for an overall swing back to this high over here around 63.89 on Wells Fargo, or is this DDD? On DDD, so 3D Systems Core. All right, I'll give you guys one more in the form of EMC, which is EMC Core Mass, trading on the New York Stock Exchange. Okay, so here we are. Reason why I pull this chart up again is because I like to find these kinds of patterns where you can see that there's obvious some nice price action, some nice long-term patterns forming here. So you can see that we've got the low right here coming up into there, and then you can see right from here we've got some nice higher lows being set in there. So now what do we want to see? So I want to extend this to the right. Okay. Okay, so that's looking great. So now that I have these lows, sorry, I have my high here of 28.26. Now I've got this. So you can see here, nice bounce off of the level, off of the trend line support. Nice engulfing pattern right here. You can see that accumulation into here, nice engulf, and then the breakout the next day on nice volume. Ran beautifully, flagged, came back up, flagged, gap down, gap back up, and just ripped. Hit a high of 28.26. There's our top, came back down, retested, and then broke down the flag, and it's just flagging back down, hit support here. Again, another engulfing pattern. You can see Doji is forming. Every time the price came near the lows of the resistance, bounce back up, accumulation, and then you see here some accumulation. So this is a slingshot candlestick, ran back up here, and now we're testing. Made a new high, rather a lower high here, and making higher lows. So price is consolidating into this little triangle here. Okay, so you can see here, I want to see it test the breakout, so rather the resistance up here a little bit more. I think today's bounce brought us a little bit closer to resistance, so I think we might see another test of this by the end of this week. All right, so there was a couple of the options that I gave you guys. Again, remember to follow the overall indexes, rather the indices, S&P 500, NASDAQ, Russell's, the Russell 2000, and the Dow Jones. Watch what those guys are doing, and then you should three or four of these stocks are going to follow. So remember that. Remember these ideas. Couple of potential breakout patterns that I'm looking at. So we'll see how this flows into the end of this week and go into next week. I'm going to do a nice weekly commentary at the end of this week's trading. So remember, you can find me on Twitter at BORSZCZM. So that's my last name. And M, and then here's the stock market drill book, which is you can find at markborsch.wordpress.com. This is where I post all these videos. So I'll be posting this up shortly. It's a little bit later, 11:21, but you guys will be able to see this before market opens tomorrow. So hopefully you guys will check it out. Like, comment, share it with your friends. If you guys have any questions, feel free to message me on Twitter. Send any comments my way, and I'll try to help you guys out as much as I can. All right? Have a good night. Happy trading tomorrow.